Traditional planning systems are rooted in a mode of thinking that made the Industrial Revolution possible. In this segment, I'll explain why rigid planning was necessary in the past. But today, adaptive planning is critical for innovative organizations. When organizations came into being during the Industrial Revolution, they had to find a way to make all the pieces work together. And they looked to a system that had already proven itself, the railroad model. Think about the railroad system in the 1800s. If you had two towns, A and B, that were connected by rail, the railroad companies did not lay two tracks between those cities, they only laid one. But this presented a problem. If you have a train leaving A and a train leaving B, they're going to crash. So they invented the side track. A side track meant that a train could pass another even though there was only one fully laid track between those two towns. But what was the problem? In order not to crash into each other, the train engineers had to rigidly adhere to a schedule. If the train engineer in town A saw a passenger hobbling towards the train and was going to be 5 minutes late, there was no way they could wait because a crash would ensue. So the train model meant that they could not adapt to the needs of a customer. So the architecture and structure of their model made adaptations impossible. Who should we better emulate today? I would suggest, in staying with the transportation analogy, that we think about taxi cabs. Think about a taxi cab driver. A taxi cab driver embraces uncertainty. When they get up in the morning, they have no idea where they're going to go, who they're going to pick up, where they'll pick them up. They don't know what route they're going to take. So the taxi cab model embraces uncertainty, whereas the train model fights uncertainty. What has changed between the days of the railroad and the days of the taxi cab is our ability to document changes that we need to make and communicate them to people who will be affected by those changes. Because today we have the ability to document and communicate, our plans can be much more adaptive. We can make mid-course corrections as the future unfolds and doesn't quite fit the plan we originally thought about. In fact, making adaptations is much more aligned with the human experience. We're adapting, we're improvising all day, every day. So my question to you, in your work, do you have the flexibility for change to be embraced in real time? What can you be doing to become more like a taxi cab company that embraces uncertainty and less like a railroad that fights uncertainty?